Hey everybody, Christina here, and this video is going to walk you through the pause and practice for Excel. This is going to be the first part of the pause and practice. So chapter 4, we'll be doing Excel 4-1, and I've got my file open, so you want to make sure that you grab that file out of our class, and we'll get started. So the first step that we'll be working on is step number 2. I've already saved my file, so it tells me to click on the Rentals Sheet tab, and that's at the very bottom of page E4-306. Just make sure you don't miss that step because it'll mess up the rest of your project. Okay, I'm going to start on step 3 now. So it asks us to format the data as an Excel table. And I'm going to select cell A5, and then I'm going to go up to my styles group, and basically we're going to format some information as a table. Now, our instructions tell us to choose this first one, which is white table light style. Then Excel kind of makes a guess of what information you want turned into a table based on the data you have here on the screen. In our instructions, we have the reference. So the range that we're looking for is A4 to F30. Those are absolute ranges. That's why we have the dollar signs. And then it says that we want to verify my table has headers is checked. That's already checked for me. Now I'm going to click OK. And you can see that it turned my kind of boring data into a really nice looking table. Now we're going to move on to step number 4. So we're going to add a total row as part of this table. So we're going to click cell A5, and then we're going to select the total row box, which is on your table design tab, and it's under the table style options. So I'm just going to click that little check mark, and you can see that it drops a total row for me down at the bottom of my table, and it also automatically totals one column of data for us. So we've added that total row. Next, we're going to click cell B31, and you can do that through your name box up at the top left, or you can just click it. And then what we have is a little drop down here, and our instructions tell us that we're going to apply the count formula here. So once I click the count formula, you can see in my formula bar, it automatically creates that formula for me. And of course, I'm checking with my instructions, and the result should be 26. So I'm good to go there. Next, we're going to move on to step number 5, which is where we're going to remove and duplicate rows in a table. So if we take a look in our table, we'll notice that rows 16 and 17 are actually duplicated in row 14 and 15. So we don't need that duplicated data in our table. Here's how we'll remove that. We're going to click cell A5, so the top data field in our table, and then we're going to click the Remove Duplicates button. And this is in your Table Design tab. So we're going to go up to our Table Design tab, and then it's in our Tools group. So when we look in our Tools group over to the left, we can see we've got an option for removing duplicates. That's what I'm going to click. And then this next step is important. It automatically selects everything in your table. But what we want to do is we want to specifically look for some data. We're just going to click Unselect All, and then we're going to select the rental name and location. So if we have any duplicates that include rental name and location together, we want to pull those out. We don't want like for example, we wouldn't want to remove duplicate states because we know we intentionally have lots of duplicates there. Okay, I'm going to click OK here. And we have a pop-up that says, hey, 2 duplicate values are found and removed. Then there's 24 unique value names. So it also lets us know, this little dialog box, that our counts may include empty cells and spaces. We're good with that, so we're just going to click OK. And now it's removed that duplicate data in this area for me. So that's a really neat way that you can kind of clean up your tables in Excel. Next, we're going to set the width of column F. So we can see the column here. This is a really wide column. There's a couple of ways you can do this to change the width. You can right click and just scroll down to column width, and you can change it here. So I'm just going to change it to 12 as the instructions indicate. Another way that you can do that is you could go to your home tab to your cells group, to your format, and then to your column width. That's a little bit of a long way to do it when you can simply right-click your mouse. Okay, we're going to move on to step number 6, which is applying conditional formatting using what we call data bars. So we're going to select cells F5 to F28, and I'm going to do that in my name box. That way I don't have to worry about scrolling. So I'm typing that in my name box over to the top left. I press enter, and my cells are automatically selected for me. Then I'm going to click the conditional formatting button. This is in your table design and in your styles group. So when I click that, you can see we've got quite a few options here. I'm going to choose data bars, and then I'm going to choose the orange bars. And so you can scroll over these different ones and see those effects. But for this exercise, I'm going to choose under gradient fill, the orange data bar. And that puts just a data bar to indicate the numerical information in a visual format for us. Next, in step 7, we're going to manage conditional formatting, and we'll do that by, again, we're going to select the same cells, F5 to F28, and then I'll press enter because I'm using my name box. We're going to click that conditional formatting button again. And then we're going to go down to the bottom where it says Manage Rules. So we're going to click that, and then we get a dialog box that pops up. In this dialog box, we're going to click Edit Rule. So we're basically changing these formatting rules. We're going to click the color arrow for the fill. So our bar appearance over here to the left, the fill is a gradient fill. And our instructions say we're going to choose gold accent for lighter 60%. So I'm going to find the gold accent for lighter 60. I'm going to click that one. And then letter F asks us to click the arrow for the border in the bar appearance. So that's just right next door. We've got our border bar here. So we're going to select our color here. And this time we need the lighter 40%. So I'm going to click that. Then we're going to choose OK to close this box and OK to close our formatting box. And now you can see we've just edited, we've managed that formatting of those colors. Next, in step 8, we're going to move into looking at a structured reference and building a formula. Now, if you haven't reviewed your text yet, you may want to pause this and go take a look at your text. So structured references are explained on page E4-297. So if you need to pause for a minute to go check those out, and then we'll come back and we'll build a structured reference together. All right, so this structured reference, our instructions tell us we're going to go and choose cell G5. So this is where we want this new formula. This is where we want that data to go. So we're going to type the equal sign to start a formula here in G5, and then we're going to select F5 and check out what happens when we did that. Because we're in a table and this is a structured reference, our formula is being built. It doesn't say F5, you'll see. It says the days rented last year, which is the name of this piece of data. In step C on our instructions, it says that we're going to indicate multiplication and then 225, and then we'll press enter. Now, our data is pulled in for us, and it asks us next to select cell G4, and we're going to choose Wrap Text, which is on your Home tab and in your alignment group. So we just want to have that, oh, I skipped a step, excuse me. We're going to click cell G4, and we're going to type average $225. And then when I press enter, because I already wrapped text, you can see that it stacked average on top of 225 there. If you didn't click wrap text already, you would just highlight cell G4, and then on your home tab in your alignment group, toward the top right of that group is the wrap text button. So that is, we've created a structured reference. Next, we're going to format our results to show the total and the complete our formatting. So we're going to select cells G5. Our range is going to be G5 to G28. Again, I'm typing that in the name box up at the top left of your screen. And once we've done that, we're going to format this as currency. And our currency, if you remember, is on our home tab in our numbers group. And then we can choose currency in our drop down. Our instructions tell us that we're going to have no decimal places. So I'm just decreasing the decimal places by 2. And then our instructions say we can choose cell G29, and we're going to choose the sum from the drop down. So over to the right of cell G29, I have a drop down, and I'm just going to go and pick the sum formula, and that adds up a number, a total for me there. Then it says we're going to select cell G5. So we'll go back up to the top and we're going to deselect banded rows. So this is in our table design tab. And right in the middle, you can see banded rows are selected. I'm just going to unselect that. And you can see what that does is it takes that alternating gray off of the rows. So I'm just clicking that button on and off so you can see those differences. All right, next we're going to select cell G5 to G28, and I'm going to go do this in my name box, G5 to G28. And we're going to apply all borders. So that's back on our home tab. We're going to click the drop down under borders, and we're just going to go down to where it says all borders. And when I click out of that, I can see my borders. Next, it says select cells A1 to G2. You can either highlight those or use your name box. And we're going to click the alignment launcher. Now, remember your launcher is this little 90-degree corner with the arrow. So I'm going to click that. And our instructions say that we're going to center across selection from the horizontal text alignment. So I'm going to choose center across selection, click OK, and you can see that my title centered across that selection that I had highlighted. Next, I'm going to click out of this just so you can see what we're going to do. Our instructions tell us that we need to apply a border, a bottom border to cell G2. So if you take a look at cell G2 here, I'm going to highlight in H2, but you can see G2 does not have a bottom border. So we want to make that match with our other cells. I'll just click that cell, click on borders, and then I'm going to click bottom border. And then you can see it stretched that line out for me. Okay, so we're going to move on to step number 10 and 11. Now, these two steps are really just demo steps. They're going to show you how to sort data in a couple of different ways. So just a note for you, these two are demonstration steps. You will be making changes to the spreadsheet, but not anything other than sorting the data. The first thing I want to share about step number 10 is we're going to need to look at what is an auto filter arrow. So in each of our columns of our table we built, we have what's called an auto filter arrow. And this little arrow, which is at the bottom of every column, will allow you to sort that data. That's what we're going to be doing in step 10. So our instructions tell us to choose the auto filter arrow on the location column, and then we're going to choose sort A to Z, and you could see my data changed in the background there. Next, we're going to choose the auto filter arrow with the state column, and we're going to do that one A to Z as well. So you can see it changes our data, and then we're going to click cell A1. So that's one way to sort data. In step number 11, we're going to look at a little more complex way to sort our data. So when we sort our data using our sort and filter sheet tab, you'll see some different things happen here. So we're going to go down to the bottom and we're going to go to our sort and filter tab. And then we're going to select cell A5. And we're going to click the sort button, which is on our data tab. So I'll click that one. And then the sort button just kind of looks like a calendar or a 2-column worksheet. So when I click that, you can see that I have a dialog box that pops up. I'm going to just move that over to the side so that we can watch what happens with our data as we're sorting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click sort by arrow and we're going to select state. So here's sort by. I'm going to click this and I'm going to say state. And our second bit of information here says sort on. We're going to leave that on cell values. So we want our sort to look at the values in the individual cells. And then we're going to confirm that the order is A to Z. Okay, so we want to sort this sheet by state based on the cell values in order alphabetically A to Z. Next, we're going to click Add a Level, which is up at the top left of this dialog box. And then you can see, so I've got my first level of sorting. After it's done that sorting, then I want it to sort by bedrooms. I want it to stay cell values, but I want it to be largest to smallest. So the largest number of bedrooms to the smallest. Then we're going to click Add Level again. And after it's sorted by state and bedrooms, then I want it to sort this information by baths. And I'm going to confirm cell values. And then I want it to sort largest number of baths to smallest number of baths. Then I'm going to click OK, and it rearranged my data. So this data is in order by three categories essentially. So it's by bedrooms and then baths, and then, excuse me, by state, then by bedrooms, and then by baths. Once we finish that, we can select cell A1, and then we're finished with this first pause and practice for chapter number 4. So if you've followed all the way to this, go ahead and make sure that you save your file because remember, you'll need this pause and practice to do the second pause and practice. Okay, folks, I'll be back with pause and practice 4-2 in our next video.